Here we go. Hey y'all, how's it going? Not really sure how these go. This is my first time doing it. You know, this is going to be very interesting. Oh, I'm not too sure. So I'm just going to start by saying welcome. You know, I really appreciate you guys coming out and viewing what I'm doing. You know, as you guys, like, if you guys are new or if you've been following me, I've been doing a lot of Call of Duty streaming, a lot of Halo streaming. I grew up with Halo. As far as video games go, I mean, of course, I grew up with like a Game Boy and GameCube and all that other stuff. You know, but where I really started getting into it, a little bit of my gaming history is through Halo. You know, I'm an Xbox kid, always have, always will. Played Halo since the very beginning, even with the big ass potato controller. So that's where I started. You know, I've been playing Halo since I was 12, 13 years old, since Xbox Live was a thing. You know, and it's been my entire life. You know, other games I play are Gears of War and Call of Duty. But hopefully with this whole streaming thing, I'm going to be venturing out and playing a little bit more of what people enjoy watching, but also making sure that it's a game that I'll truly enjoy playing. You know, because right now I get stuck in this mindset that those 3 games are the only games I'll ever play because they're the only ones I enjoy. And that may be true for the remainder of this, but I've been opening my mind a little bit, opening the door to some possibilities. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. Stay tuned. You know, a little bit about me. I am a recovered drug addict. I've been sober for a little bit over 5 years. From opiates, from heroin, from just about everything. Well, been sober from everything, but that's been my story, and part of the reason why I feel like I can provide some value to certain people, to show that no matter how far down the scale you've gone in life, regardless of if it's drug addiction or if it's a marital problem, if it's family problems, whatever type of problem, everyone's got problems. What my hope is that I can be some type of inspiration, some type of motivator, some type of voice that allows people to truly be who they are, to do what they want to do, and this has turned out to be something that I couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be more happy. Started streaming about 3 months ago, and man, it took a lot of soul searching. It took a lot of disregarding of what other people thought about it, because I wasn't necessarily making the smartest financial decisions. So taking on this additional expense of a computer and streaming setup and all this was yet another expense, but it's turned out to be a-okay. This is what I truly love, and if I can help people, if I can grow, if I can turn this into a full-time job, that's what I'm here to do. I love doing that. I love video games. I love esports, and I love helping people. So if something can get someone from what I say, whether it's on a stream, whether it's me showing my true emotions sometimes when I don't like the way things are going, regardless, that's my only aim. That's my only aim here. But a little bit more about me. I grew up in Houston, Texas. Grew up in Houston, Katy specifically. And at the time, Katy was probably some 18,000. Wasn't that many. It really wasn't that many. And I didn't have a bad life. Like, I had a great life. People, I had family. Both my parents are still together. I had a great childhood. I never went without. I wasn't the rich kid on the block, but I never went without, and I'm honestly pretty spoiled for. I got a lot of what I wanted. Let's not skirt that. Let's not try to minimize that. So the point why I'm saying that, in addition, I did a lot of sports growing up, a lot of swimming, a lot of basketball, a lot of soccer, One season I coached pitch baseball. That was really it. That was really it. And when I like baseball, but I don't like playing it too much. And then I chose swimming. Swimming was the only sport that didn't require me. Yo, what up? What up, Falco? How you doing, man? How are you doing? Hey. You playing any COD right now? I seen your tweet just a little bit ago. Hey Rose, can't handle my excitement. I appreciate it. You know what? If you break it, I think you've done something right because that means I got to fix it to make it better. So, ah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, forgot OU. Yeah, but you know what was good though today? Today was good though. I got to watch. I'm a Texans fan. I'm from Houston, so watching us crush Baker Mayfield today, and because it was the Browns and the Texans, that was very, very satisfying. Watching Baker Mayfield get 2 picks, that shit was legendary. Like 3 picks actually. I think 3 turnovers. Look on his face was just. It's a wonderful feeling. A wonderful, wonderful feeling. Yeah. That was good. How was your day, Rose? Yeah. Oh. With this, let me know what you think. Down to hang out, down to talk. I'd like to let you know a little bit about me though. Where I was that, I actually grew up. I'm a swimmer, so I swam for about a couple of years. Oh wow! Hey y'all, welcome. How y'all doing this evening? 4 people. Wow. Hasn't even been 15 minutes. How's everyone doing tonight? You see my doggy in the background. Because I do. Yeah. For those of y'all just joined, going over my story a little bit. Interject at any time. Answer any questions. Just here to hang out, This is the first time really doing this, so forgive me going off in different tangents and talking about different things. It's just kind of how I roll. I wasn't really prepared, I tend to do my best work when I'm not prepared or when I don't think about it too much. Yeah. Yeah, Baker. That was. I put it this way. I respect Baker Mayfield as a quarterback. I respect him as a quarterback, like his sheer talent. He's incredible. However, he did go to the University of Oklahoma, so, like fuck him, and it's it's hard for me to get down with that. I feel very passionately about that. Obviously, I'm a UT fan, so. Yeah. But yeah, that was a very good feeling today. That was a very good feeling. I was doing some content creation as well as watching that game. It was a really good feeling. I actually just got back from I'm getting sushi, so I'm quite full. But yeah. So a little bit more about me. Not sure if you guys do know this. You know, I'm talking about a little bit of my childhood here, and I was a swimmer for about 10 years. You know, I did it competitively, and I did it after school, and I also did it during school. You know, that's what I did, and that was the only sport that didn't require me to run. That's why I chose it. It was pretty interesting. So fast forward a little bit, you know, I don't know, as a kid, you know, like I said, I played a lot of Halo when I was growing up. I played a lot of video games. I never really felt like, you know, I truly fit into like a lot of the different crowds, per se, you know, and video games were like my thing, man. It was like the way I could interact with people. I could find people with a common peril, you know, people like the same thing or else they wouldn't have been playing, but those are the people I really identified a lot with, which, yeah, obviously makes sense why I'm doing this. But, you know, I started going down like a really different path. You know, my path wasn't always the best. And outside of swimming, once I decided that swimming really wasn't for me, you know, I ended up, you know, the first time I smoked weed, I remember talking to myself and saying, like, this is going to be what I was going to feel like for the rest of my life. You know, I remember the first time I did that, you know, and it was a feeling I could not replicate or duplicate. It was the first time. I'm sure you guys have smoked weed. It's the first time you do it. It's incredible, you know, and I remember that not only did it get me high, euphoria, but also, you know, it fixed something inside of me that I felt like I wasn't really okay, you know, and I remember that's really what it did for me, you know. So I did a lot of that in school, a lot out of school, teenage years. You know, I did that for a while, and it's funny because the first 2 times or first 6 months that awesome. No, hey, that's what it's here for. Good. I'm glad you're listening, Rose. I appreciate you. I really do. What are you gaming on some Fortnite? Are you at level 100 yet? I don't know what that means. I know it's probably a grind, so forgive my ignorance. But with with that story, you know, when it came to me getting high and doing a lot of drugs, like I did that for a while. Drank on the weekends. You know, that's really all it was. I was smoking weed every single day, and then drinking on the weekends and smoking weed. So I did that for a while, but I should have known, like, within the first, like, 6 months. Hey. That's what I'm talking about. A little hype in the chat. A little hype. I'll get some Princess Leia hype. Here we go. Little Princess Leia hype. That's awesome. I'm happy for you. I don't know what that means, but I'm really, really happy for you because it sounds like it's a major accomplishment. Like, I imagine... Is that like getting Prestige Master in Call of Duty? But yeah. Today, yeah, so with that, you know, I did a lot of partying. I got arrested twice within the first 6 months of me getting high. You know, bailed out both times. That's probably how my parents knew that, like, it should have been a problem. Like, they're brat. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. Yeah, I'm very, I'll have to watch, again, I'll have to open my mind a little bit. I told you I said in the beginning, I'm a little closed-minded sometimes, so I have to branch out. I have to do a little bit better on that. So, forgive me. But yeah, I did a lot of partying in my early years. Got arrested twice within the first 6 months of me getting high, and that should have been like a great indicator that, like, I wasn't really on the best path, but I didn't really view it as that. I just saw it as like this phase that I was going through that, one day I'd give it up, but not really. So yeah, that was that, and it really escalated pretty quick. Somehow I got accepted to Texas State University. Went to school with my buddy there. We did did a lot of partying up there. I'll tell you, I started experimenting at that time with a lot of heavy drugs. A lot of Xanax. A lot of benzos, a lot of weed, a lot of alcohol. I experimented a lot with that. I would say it's way past the experimental stage. Reason being, and I love saying this, obviously not because it was a great thing that happened, but it's a really cool feeling to be able to share something that was once really like plagued me. Is the reason I started taking a lot of those drugs like Xanax was so I could forget. When I was 18 at the time, this was a very trying period around my adolescence. Was that my cousin, who was about 20 or 21 at the time, he was brutally murdered. And this great kid. I mean, he was found like with a gun wound to the back of his head, with his hands bound on the side of the highway. It was probably the most like difficult thing I'd ever had to experience in my entire life. I was 18. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know how to process that. I didn't really know how to like do that. So that was like the catalyst for me, like wanting to just not remember things. So like I was very confused as a kid. Very very lost. And I use as an excuse, man. I used to tell people that's like what made me a drug addict, and like that's and if I'd always use it against someone if they tried to combat me, or if they try to come at me and try and like say otherwise. So that was like the pivotal point. I'm not going to say that's what caused me to be who I am, but that was like the moment, you could call it, that truly set it off. And and when I say skyrocket, when I say launch, like I launched. I launched. It really was, Rose. It really was. But it turned out to be. It's really cool to be able to share that, because it doesn't plague me today. It doesn't haunt me today, and I can use that to help other people. I can use that to. And I can help people in a lot of different ways, like from that specific story. Number one, when I'm working with other people that are like me, trying to get them to the same experience, I can call bullshit whenever they're trying to tell me that this certain experience made them a drug addict. It's like, nah, it's a bunch of bullshit. So it makes me useful in that sense, where I can do that to help other people. And I feel that once we're able to like overcome that and be able to use our story to help someone else, or parts of the story, like that's where I feel like that's truly valuable. And people, especially nowadays, like people are really, really, really embracing authenticity, really embracing genuineness, really embracing, a lot of that. And it's a really cool thing, man, because it's the language that people understand. It's the language that we as people understand. So it's a wonderful thing that like this whole empathy thing and this whole gratitude and this, I know there's a lot of people that fake it, but for the most part, there's a lot of people that don't. It's a really cool thing to see that, because it's I don't know why we weren't like that before, but I did a lot, like, so I used that as my, catalyst, and I used that as my excuse the entire way through. At Texas State, I did a lot. I sold acid, sold weed, did a lot of acid, did a lot of Molly, did a lot of ecstasy, did a lot of cocaine, and of course I was smoking. Like, I never really considered smoking weed a drug. So throughout this entire time, weed is always a part of the picture. Alcohol is always a part of the picture, because I just didn't really count that. But I experimented with everything. I went from DMT to acid to mushrooms to all of that. And honestly though, like I'm free from that today, and obviously, like, that was when it was still pretty fun, those times. I had some of the best experiences of my life. What a lot of people misconceive drug addicts to be is that, like, number one, like, if I was looking at someone like me, I would not say that kid's a drug addict. I just wouldn't say that, and so there's a lot of weird perceptions of, like, what that looks like. And so not all drug addicts, it never starts bad. No one just woke up one day and said, you know what, I think I'm going to shoot heroin today, you know, and like I'm just going to ruin my fucking life. No one wakes up and says they're going to do that consciously, you know. So it's, for the reason why I say that is because in the beginning it was genuinely a lot of fun. Like I had some of the best experiences of my life. I wouldn't trade that for anything. You know, yeah, exactly. You know, it's, and you know what, the thing, Rose, is like a lot of people don't make it, you know, and that's, a lot of people don't make it, and I help a lot of people around here. You know, I don't, you know, I don't really get into, like, I try to help as many people as I can, you know, whether those are people that are in recovery or not, because right now, everyone, whether you are, whether you're not, everyone at least knows someone who's affected by it or who's afflicted with it in some way, shape, or form, whether it's with alcohol, whether it's just with, even with smoking weed. Like, I used to laugh at people that, so I got a marijuana addiction. Like, how, like, come on, like, how is, but it's not really the substance, it's what we put in our body to, that it's the action of changing the way we feel. It's not the drug. It's not. Like, a pot addict and a heroin addict have the same mental dialogue, have the same mental behaviors, have the same, now obviously, you know, with opiates you have the physical dependency where you'll get sick without it. However, the actions and the thought process and everything, it's all the same. It is all the same. There's no difference, and that's the misconception a lot of people do have, is that, you know, a drug addict looks, hold on, yeah, oh yeah, it's terrible right now. Where does he live, you know? Because I know in the East Coast it's bad right now, because you're getting a lot of overseas people cutting it with like fentanyl, to give heroin a stronger kick. A lot of people are cutting it with that, and there's a lot of people that are dying like that, you know. And there's even in Houston, like, even in Houston, they're lacing it with what's called carfentanil, and that's like 100 times more potent than fentanyl, and it's killing people off of like nothing, you know. It's just, it gives me chills, and I'm segueing that into one of the reasons why I started streaming as well, is because to show anyone, whether you're a drug addict or not, that, you know, your life can get really, really bad. It can get really bad. You can go really far down the scale. You can fuck everything up. But no matter how much you've done to fuck your life up, or fuck your life up as we like to say it, like, you can always recover from that, no matter how far you've gone. It's gonna take some time, like, yeah, it's terrible, you know, it's terrible. I feel for him. If he, you know, if he ever, I don't know if he's still doing that, but if he ever, like, there is help out there, and I can always get him plugged into somewhere, or, you know, somewhere around here where it's real recovery and real sobriety. I don't know if he still fucks with that anymore. If he hasn't, I'm really proud. If not, like, I get it. Like, you know, it's just it's a tough thing to climb out of, you know. And trust me when I say I get it, you know. Yeah, you're from Ohio. Like, go Buckeyes. Should have put 2 and 2 together. You know, it's a very incredible thing that we're dealing with right now. And what I was doing was that, like I said, at the time I hadn't even done opiates. At the time I hadn't, except for there was one time where we did acid for probably about, we did that for probably about 3 days, you know, and I had tried it at that time, and it was I was so shamed, you know, I shamed myself for that, you know, trying opiates to get off of that high, and I never touched it again, you know. Yeah, that's good though. I'm happy for him. Like, I'm happy that he, you know, it can cause a lot of damage. Like, it, you know, and especially when you start, like, getting into, like, IV usage, which I did a couple times. Like, when you start getting into that, especially, like, that's when it starts fucking you up, you know. And if you, like, people who do meth all the time lose their teeth, you know. It's just, it's a savage chemical, man, and it's not, And I hate to say it, I'm definitely not a victim. I'm not, however, I get it. Oh. Hold on 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'm sorry. I don't know why this web camera does this. I don't know why this does this. 1 second. Alright, I hope everyone is back. Alright. Sorry about that. Sorry. Alright. Here we go. There we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, that should be a lot better. But yeah, it was wild. And I'm trying to think where I was at. Oh yeah, I was at that time in my life. So I my life got pretty. Life started getting a little bit rougher at the time, and what happened after that was that I came home for the summer. I failed both semesters. I didn't go to class. I didn't do any of that. I went to college, but not for college reasons. So, it's my grades suffered. I didn't really do well in school. And I started working at like just some deadbeat job, like a movie theater job when I got home. And I was, buying a lot of lean, buying a lot of codeine, doctor shopping, doing all that. And, my parents finally caught on to it because I was still living at home. I was definitely still living at home. And like a dumbass, I kept all of my prescription bottles, and my parents found that. And I remember that day when I got home from work. I'll never forget that because it was the one time that I truly felt that like I could not weasel my way out of something. They had all of my prescription bottles laid out on the table, and they were both just sitting on the couch. I have a foyer when you walk in, so there's that. And then if you walk a little bit further, then there's the living room right there, and it was all right there. And they were both sitting on the couch looking directly at me whenever I came in. And I will never forget that feeling. That was the most, I don't even know the word for it. I'll find it later and let you guys know. I'll just randomly interject it. But it was I just felt so stuck and felt so exposed. Exposed is what I was. Exposed. Found out, it was terrible. So I went to my first treatment center, first drug and alcohol treatment center at 18. And I remember like having like my last hoorah, my last hoorah before I ever went into drug and alcohol treatment, because I felt like I needed to do that. I took a lot of I took probably enough substances where I could have seriously hurt myself, and the night before I went there, I took 10 Xanax pills with the 2 milligram pills. So I was on 20 milligrams of benzodiazepines, shotgunned a 6-pack of beer, and smoked probably close to an eighth of weed, all within, probably 3 to 4 hours. Actually, so I ate half of it then, and then half of the other Xanax on the way there. But within 12 hours, I had ingested all of that into my body, which is just an unhealthy. I mean, just it's incredible how unhealthy that is. So that happened, and I remember going through treatment, and I remember I don't remember my first, it was a 30-day program. I never remembered it. I never remembered much of it until the last week and a half, because the side effects from that, the amount I was doing for as long as I was doing it, it just, you're in a fog, even without it in your body. It fucks with your brain. Excuse me. And I remember going through there, and I remember like the idea of being sober sounded wonderful. Like the like everyone had this badass life, and it was really cool. And I'm like, great, that sounds awesome. You know, but the reality is that like I was not done yet. I was not honest with myself. I didn't know what being honest with myself was until that point, or not even until that point. I didn't know what being honest with myself even looked like. I had never been honest with myself, let alone anyone else, whether it was my family, whether it was my job, whether it was anyone else. I never was honest, and that was one of my biggest pitfalls, because I could never really address the problem until I got honest about it. And so I went door to door to another 90-day treatment center. Did 30 days here, went to a 90-day out in Colorado, and out in Aspen, actually. Aspen, Colorado, where the beer flows like wine. And it snows year-round, if you catch my drift. Very, very interesting town. So it's... I go there, and man, guys, I'll be honest with you, like, this place is like really, really bougie. It was really nice. They had a private chef. Yeah, I appreciate it, Rose. Thank you so much. It's, and I appreciate your authenticity. Like, it's, you don't know what it's like, but you've had a loved one that suffered through this. You've had like. So you understand an aspect of it that, a lot of people don't. So I really, it's not something that I truly know a whole lot about, being on the other side. I've had to deal with my fair share of it. But, yeah, the crazy part is like, this is like halfway through my, I'd say it's about like 60% through my actual journey, before it really got bad. See, like when I went there, my family intervened and like kind of like forced me to go there, but I didn't really think that I was doing that bad. Like I didn't really like my life really, like even externally, it really wasn't that bad. Internally, obviously, was a little bit more of a mess, but even not at the time. But I went there and we went snowboarding, we went rock climbing in Utah, we played golf, we had a personal chef. It was like the works, and it was just an amazing opportunity to do that. That wasn't enough to keep me sober, that really wasn't enough to keep me sober. So again, I loved the idea of it. I ended up getting out and working at the Aspen Ski Company. So I worked at the mountain, where they hold the X Games every year. It's on Buttermilk Mountain. So I had the time of my life, working there. It was a lot of fun. I'm a huge snowboarder. I feel yo, Drewski, what's up with it, my man? How you feeling tonight? We're just going through little day in the, well, no, not little, but yeah, essentially my story, So if you're tuning in, man, you came here for the juiciest part, where it got really crazy. How's your night been, my man? How's your Sunday? Hell yeah. What'd you make? I just got back from eating some sushi, man. So I relate on the full tummy. Hey, Leia, hey, what are you doing? Yeah? Mississippi style pie. Ooh, that sounds good. Is that where you live? Oh, hey. Straight fire. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. No, see it. Gotcha. Are you from Mississippi? Like, where did this Mississippi style pot roast? You gotta let me know that. I'm dying to know now. Are you a chef? Are you a cook? Tell me more. I got so many questions, Drew. I know I'm telling my story, but the interwebs. But that's a very you see what I'm saying? Like that's a very like random thing to like. That's okay though, man. You know, Drew, I didn't plan anything on this. Like I want to tell my story. However, at the same time, if this thing takes a few different turns, I'm all about that, man. Like I'm all about that. I'm not really about having a script or having, you know, being so rigid. Move my chair over a little bit. Not being so rigid, but anyways, make turkey in a crock pot. Ah. Then you got deep into the internet, I imagine. And then you stumbled upon that. Yeah. I heard that. I heard that. Ah, dude, that's the best, man. Like, I love, like, presents, man, but nothing makes me happier than, like, gifted food. Like, gifted food is, like, on another level when it comes to gifts. Like, that means I don't have to spend any money, I don't have to spend any time, and I get to eat a really, really delicious meal. But, I mean, I'm sure you made it, but you got the main piece done. You had to pay for a turkey. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. You move quick, man. You move quick. I'm learning a lot about you already. You don't waste no time. You don't waste no time like me. Like when I... That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, hey, I'm glad you got a full belly. I do too. Sushi's a weird thing, and I'll post a picture on Insta and on Twitter and in the Discord later. Sushi's a very weird thing. Like I get so full from sushi, and then like right now, I can already feel myself getting hungry again. And I just like I thought I was gonna get like I was so full when I left the restaurant, which was only like an hour ago. Well, I'd say an hour and a half ago, but it's wild. it's wild. But yeah, I took some. Yeah. It was good though, man. I'll never learn with sushi. I guess I'll never learn. It's okay though. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you. I really appreciate that. It's the logo, the everything, man. It's when I got this in the mail, it was. Oh man, I get chills talking about it. It's crazy to create something and then put it on something physical and just the realness of it, man. You know, I did hats, I did beanies, shirts, coffee mugs. I mean, you name it, I appreciate that though, man. I really do. I have a friend who's we went back and forth with the design. I had a designer, actual designer create it. I'm not going to say I did it myself. However, we went back and forth with some sketches, and I told him the ideas, and he like nailed it. You know, it's a buddy of mine that I work with, and put it up on the website, and it's legit. But yeah. You know what, man? I will say, like, I'm hoping to get into that type of creative work. As far as like creating the stream and creating a business and branding your own self, like, it's definitely got the wheels spinning. Definitely not gifted by nature as like someone who's a creative when it comes to like visual design. However, right now, like, I feel it is so intriguing, and we live in such a design world. We live in such like a I don't know, like if you go to websites nowadays, like websites just like look and feel so good going to them. I don't know if I'm just crazy or what, but like that is like the most amazing thing ever, you know. And so it's not original. However, we went over a bunch of sketches and designs, and this is what we came out with, man. But I appreciate that, dude. It's very. You know what? I'll definitely reward that. But yeah, it's definitely very cool to start creating something and be a part of that process. So yeah, man. buddy runs the website too, you know, so it's pretty yeah. Yeah, yeah, man. It's very cool, you know. And I'm not, and another thing, I'm not naturally me. Like I'm not a sales guy by nature. You know what's interesting though. What's very very interesting, and it hasn't happened fully yet, but it's starting to happen now. You know, I'm not necessarily like what you call a sales guy. I grew up in the service industry. You know, like I'm all about people. I'm all about helping someone. I'm an advocate for a customer whenever I'm at work. You know, I always try to fight to make sure that they are being done right if our company has done wrong by them, or if we made a mistake. I mean, companies make mistakes, but it's a cool industry. But where I'm going with that is the way the world's shifting now is that people like buying from people, and people like people persons, and people like great service, and people like, you know, being taken care of, you know. And guess what? That's what I'm good at. You know, like that's what I'm good at, man. And it's funny that like the service industry is starting to become the people who are the best at sales now. You know, because you just got to have a little bit of passion, love what you're doing, and love to help people. You know, and that's really, you know, that's it now. So I always felt that like I'm like, shit, man, I'm never gonna make as much money as a salesman. I'm never gonna do that. You know, I'm just a customer service rep. I'm just gonna make X amount of dollars per year. But it's funny now the way that it is. Like, it just makes me grin from ear to ear that like the nice guy always wins. You know, the guy who's always about the customer, who really cares about them, always wins. Because it's one thing to have a great product. There's so much saturation with good products on the market. You know, but what makes people buy from other people is that they're being taken care of. You know, and that's like with brands I buy from, like. I sometimes with some of the, like, even with my beard products, you know, like I pay a premium for a beard product company here in Austin, Texas, but number one, they have an amazing product. Like it's an incredible product, and their service is legendary. Like they go over and above, they go beyond like what most companies normally do. You know, they fucked up on one of their products, and immediately sent an email out like 2 days later, and saying like, hey man, we realize we fucked up, keep the bottle, use it if you want, but here's credit for another one whenever we get our formula right for our beard wash. You know, it was like 2 days after the product release. I'm like, dude, those are the people I like buying from. Like, I love that shit, man. Like, you do right by the customer, when you made a mistake and you give them money back, or even if it's not giving them money back, acknowledging that you made a mistake and being genuine and authentic is things that most companies don't normally do. Yeah. Exactly, dude. It's exactly like winning. All like fucking winning, man. And what a time, dude. Like what a time, man, cuz like I've never felt so hopeful for the future because of that right now. You know, it's just a very interesting thing, you know, because where I came from, I mean, I'm not sure what part of that you caught on, you know, like, or what part you tune into. I know Rose has been here since the beginning. Rose got the full rundown. Rose is getting my life story. And, you know, I was in, about 5.5 years ago was my last, fast quality customer service, man. Yeah. And I feel that, first heard you were, gotcha. Yeah. So I'm a little bit about me. I'm about 5.5 years. 5.5 years sober. I got sober on August 4th of 2013. You know, heroin was my drug of choice. What really brought me to my knees. You know, it got pretty bad. You know, and it was crazy. You know, after. It's crazy, man. Like after, what was I gonna call it? Like after I got out of my last treatment center, it was, yeah. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, Falco. I appreciate that. Time within 30 seconds, and I'm. Story of my fucking life with Blackout, dude. Like, that is the story of, like, when singles Blackout. I will say that I'm gonna stop downplaying my gameplay. Like, I'm a decent player, but singles, I think one of my second and third games I got like 83rd. I'm just like, yeah, singles Blackout is not for me, man. But hey, man, I really appreciate that you're getting some value out of this, that you like seeing this, my man. I really do. At that point in time, man, I was living in Aspen, man. Like, I was like living what most people like would call like the dream. I was like a ski bum. I was living in Aspen. It was like the most beautiful place in the world. I got to go skiing on like a Tuesday, or snowboarding. I was a snowboarder. I got to go snowboarding on like a Tuesday, man, like where there was no one there. I felt like I had the entire mountain to myself. So like on paper, like my life looked really great. Like it looked just incredible. But inside, man, like I was fucking miserable, but I fronted so much, which is why it's so cool that I'm able to do this. It's like I fronted so much to try to get you to like me, and it was trying to do that. And if you guys have ever had any experience with this, man, like I'd love to hear it, or like I'd love to, hear about more about that. But, it's like a full-time job. Like when you're living a lie, when I was living a lie, I had to be a different person for my family. I had to be a different person to my friends. I had to be a different person to my coworkers. I had to be a different person to my employer. I had to be a different person to anyone I met. And that's like 5 jobs. Like trying to fabricate different stories and having them all match up together. And like, I must say, not to like if I must say, I'm going to give a humble brag. Like for a little bit, I was able to pull it off pretty well. But that shit is tiring, man. That's not really something to brag about, but fuck it. It felt really good that I was able to do that, because that's really complicated. But it's no way to live. And then on top of that, I have to figure out how to make a living. That's a lot of mental energy that is spent on being the most dishonest, unauthentic, unauthentic human being. And, it really is, man. And I love that you said that, Drewski, because especially when I started, even in sobriety, like my first 5 years of sobriety, really it wasn't until this half year where I put myself in a tough hole, and I really stopped giving a fuck about what someone else thought about me. Like, I relied so much on my family's opinion, my inner circle. Like I have an inner circle of guys that really hold me accountable and keep me on track, and call me on my bullshit whenever I'm speaking it. But man, just because they call me on my shit, and they call me on certain things, it doesn't mean that like their opinion is always the right opinion. A lot of times it holds some valid truth. And the difference, what I've been learning throughout these recent couple months, is that I'll listen, because sometimes I'm bad at not listening. I'm really good at like nodding my head and and yeah, like we all do that. We all do that. But when I sit down to actually listen to them, I can actually internalize what they're saying. Whenever I find something that they tell me that I don't necessarily agree with in the beginning, what I choose to do is I sit with it for 24 hours. I don't talk about it. Not to them, not to my friends, not to my dog, not to anyone. I don't talk about it. And I internalize it, and I sit quiet with that thought or that consideration for 24 hours. And usually that is enough time for me to get honest with myself, to where I can say, you know what? I appreciate the consideration, but it doesn't apply to me. If it doesn't apply to me, I'm gonna let it fly. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. It's like a little corny saying. So it's a very cool thing, man. But especially with the streaming thing, and I'm sure everyone in this chat can relate to me. With the whole streaming deal, man, like people, I don't really know how to articulate what I do to someone who doesn't know. I would love some help with that if y'all have that, but I can't really articulate it. All I know is how to do it. There's so many people that like don't know what this is, or have a negative opinion of what video games are, or that, honestly, like, yeah, I mean, they have such a negative opinion, and it's so easy for me to get caught up in that and not see the real picture that's going on right here. Like, there's this crazy world where the internet has changed, you know, being an entrepreneur and starting your own thing, and it cuts out the middleman to do your own thing. And people don't really see that, and it's really tough for someone who really genuinely cares about people. I want to make, you're right, I want to make everybody happy. But when I when I look at the population, I see how many people live on this earth. Like 8 billion people are a lot of people to make happy. You know, all I can do is hope that whatever I'm dedicating my time to benefits at least one person in some way, shape, or form, whether that's immediately, whether it's down the road, whether it's, you know, 60 years from now, and all of a sudden it just clicks. That's my only hope, because someone did that for me. You know, some people always do that for me. My goal is to not make everyone in this world happy, but my goal is to simply be of service to people who want it. You know, if you don't want help, that's fine. Like, it's completely fine. And I didn't want help for a while, you know, so people stopped trying to help me. You know, I'm 26. I'll actually be 27 in March. March 4th actually is my real birthday. So March 4th is my birthday. August 4th is my sobriety birthday. You know, so it's yeah, it's just very, it's incredible, man. The conversations that we're getting to have these days. And you know, when I got like the last part of my story, you know, last part of the bad part of my story is, you know, I got involved with a woman, and we were like this like Bonnie and Clyde thing, man. Like we were like this Bonnie and Clyde thing. Like I was already way fucked off when it came to drugs. Like I was, you know, and then all of a sudden I met her, you know, and we were like the perfect couple, and we were just insanely sick for each other. And I was, you know, at the time I was selling heroin and she was selling cocaine, and we were just like, that's how we were going to do it. We were going to like take over the world, you know, because that always works. You know, that always works. Even like the 1 or 2 people who have done that, it's, you know, I doubt it. But, you know, it's a wild thing, man. And it got really bad. And we were about to get foreclosed on, like, or not foreclosed. We were about to get evicted. And, you know, when we were getting evicted, like when we got that notice, that was really like when it was like the final straw. You know, I wasn't about to go to jail in Aspen. I wasn't about to get evicted. I wasn't about to do that. You know, it just, it was just a wild thing, man. You know, and that was finally when I had the balls to like get honest with myself and say like, you know, this is not a life worth me living. You know, this is not a life that, you know, I choose to live anymore. You know, so I will do whatever it takes. If that means like licking dirt off the floor, if that's going to keep me sober, I'm going to do it. You know, and so that's the type of willingness that I had. You know, it was, yo, with the lurk. Thank you so much, Crimson. Thank you so much, man. Hope your Pokemon stream was doing well. We're gonna have to do some PC blackout or Black Ops later, per our conversation. Yes. So, it was wild, man. And I'll tell you what, man. Like, you know, things. I'll tell you this. You know, and I don't know how. This is probably helpful. You know, whatever, regardless of what you're in, if you're thinking it can't get worse, then, yeah, buddy. Absolutely, my man. I genuinely appreciate that. You know, it's, hey, you opened my mind to a couple different, you know, to the PC ways. Oh, gotcha. Appreciate you, my man. Much love. Appreciate you, Crimson. Yeah. And so that you know, that willingness that I had was, man, I'll tell you what, like, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. um, and so, man, that's part, like, it's interesting. I didn't really realize that until just now. It's kind of easy to see where my willingness came from, to start my own stream and to grow my grow my own business and make my own life, for myself. Um, I think it came from that moment, man, because I became so willing to do anything that it took to get well, that nothing else mattered. Like all of the thing, like my opinions about anything didn't matter. What other people wanted for me didn't matter. What other people thought about me in that moment, didn't matter. Of course, I was scared as shit and I didn't really know what I was doing, but all I knew was that my way didn't work and that someone else needed to do it. Hey, Spaceman Peace, how are you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, homie. Spaceman Peace, I love that. Good people, man. How's your night going so far? How's your weekend? Yeah, man. Yeah. And so, with with this deal, man, yeah. Oh, man, why are you feeling the sad feels? I'm actually doing the infamous sad feels. Yes, I hear that. Why? You wanna? I mean, if you're okay with it, man. Like, what's I definitely don't want to force you anything that you don't want to say. Like, what's going on, my man? But man, I'm doing really well. I got a lot of allergies. Weather's changing, but I feel like I'm finally getting my shit together, because this entire year has been kind of a shit show. Well, what's up, Dan? How you doing, man? Yeah, no, it's good, man. It's life's good. I couldn't be more happy. Um, got a full belly of sushi, telling my story, interacting with people. With this scrub, existence is confusing. Oh man, maybe later, Dan. Maybe later, my man. I might do that with you. I'm down. I was killing it last night. But so what I can say for that, Spaceman? What do you mean by existence is confusing? Like humans existing, like existence of like how we even got here. Those conversations are always really fun. Like why we're here and why we feel some pain and why we do that is. Yeah. And Spaceman, you fell into the right chat because we got a lobby full of helpful people, man. I say that with all sincerity. I don't mean to be I'm not trying to be fake here. The part of what I'd say a lot of what's contributed to even some of my success here has been a lot from this community that Drewski's in, called Too Bad Gaming. Bunch of cool people. We're always down to help, yeah. Yeah. One second. Opening up some of this. No. There we go. Yeah, man. But, with this, man, like with with my story, like, uh, oh man, bunch of people running around like sheep, not even realizing, spreading toxic energy and fueling their egos. Feel very lost. Yeah, there's a lot of that, man. There's definitely a lot of that. You know, honestly, man, like I don't think anything is wrong. I think humans, man. This is an interesting topic. Like, and I hope you can get some value out of this. I think people have always inherently been the same way. I feel like technology has exposed people to like I think technology a lot of times is exposed to people who they really are versus being able to hide behind it. Especially with a lot of this negative energy and toxic energy. I'm to relate to you, spaceman. To relate to you, my man. I right now at work, it's not the most healthy environment right now to like tell you the truth, because yeah, it's what I'm experiencing right now is right now where I work. Right now I'm gonna keep that anonymous just for right now. Um, there's a lot of changes going on, and with a lot like an entire company restructuring. I know you're probably asking like how does this relate. I'll cut to the chase. There's a lot of company restructuring. There's a lot of question marks around our department's existence, and how it all works and what type of selling tactics they're using. And there's a lot of our issues that are being spoken about, but they are not really heard. And a lot of things are put on pause. So what that creates, especially where we're at, and you incubate, like you compound that toxic energy. People, it's easy to fall into toxic energy versus spreading positivity. It takes no effort. And someone who's pissed off enough or toxic enough can infect someone, and it can infect someone just like that, and then they'll start spreading it. Poison spreads so much quicker than hope. Like, poison spreads so much quicker, and, right now I'm currently experiencing that right now, and for a while, like, part of last week, actually on Friday, like, make this the most current experience as possible. Like, Friday, I was really, really negative about it. It's, a lot of people are leaving. A lot of uncertainty about my position, what's going to happen to it, like how that's going to work. I have some good options, but it's still, then you have our sales team on the other end. Some of them are engaging in some shady behavior, and it's affecting me, actually my pay as well. But there's a lot of people just walking around like with their head so far up their ass, and it's what I do to focus on that, man. And I don't know what your beliefs are in this is. I don't know. Like, all I can do is share you my experience. Is that, my belief. My belief is that there is something greater than me. I choose not to identify with with any type of a religion, but I do know that there's something out there. What do you call it, an energy or the spirit of the universe or whatever you call it, man? That's much greater than me, and that's what I rely on, man. I rely on that, and I rely on helping other people. And the crazy part about helping others is that regardless of if they accept the help or not, you're going to feel better. So with a lot of these people that are running around like sheep, not even realizing it, spreading toxic energy, instead of, and I'll be really direct with you, man. Like, I think that, like, a lot of part of, like, the double-edged sword of the positivity that's going on right now in the world is that people don't know how to be honest and hold people accountable. With some of these people, man, what you can focus on is actually what you can do to help them, as crazy as that sounds. Because guess what? When you help someone without an expectation in return, you're going to be okay. Like, when you help someone without expecting anything in return, and it's a really hard concept. Like, it's a hard concept, but when you just do that, you're going to be at a lot more peace, and they're going to do what they're going to do. And once you realize that you have no control and no power over what someone else does or what they do, that's when you're winning. That's when you're winning, because if you're trying to change someone, if your well-being is dependent on how someone else acts, guess what, man? Like, that's going to be a long time before they change, if at all. You know, some people live like that their entire life and live really like a miserable fucking life. So I would, if I could tell you anything, if I want to empathize with you. I want to, you know, I understand where you're coming from. You know, however, in order to move past that, man, that's the understanding that's worked for me. You know, obviously there's a bunch of different ways to get well and a bunch of different ways to be happy. You know, but typically when I'm not feeling right, when I'm feeling depressed and when I'm feeling lost, it's usually not the outside world, man. It's usually something within me, you know, and I have to do a lot of soul searching at times, and it's very uncomfortable, man. Like, no one likes like looking at themselves. Like, it's really ugly sometimes. So I would say, man, like, it's about perception. You know, it's about perception and how you view these people, man. So if they're running around like sheep, if they're spreading a lot of energy, man, be that one person that like says fuck that and like doesn't participate in it. You know, and watch. I'm not sure what environment this is, man. I'm taking some shots in the dark here. You know, so forgive me if I'm a little off, but when there's a lot of negativity and you be that one person that says like I'm not going to engage in that, other people may start joining you. Like, other people may start like gravitating towards you because you're giving out an energy and you're not being a victim and you're not doing these things and you're doing something, you know. And my experience is that I've only gotten better when I take action, you know. Gotcha, man. I mean, look at this, spaceman. I mean, the reality, like the odds of us. Okay, cool, man. Cool. I'm glad I'm speaking in good company. You know, so if you are spiritual, man, if you know that you were created by something that's greater than yourself, you know, and that, you know, you were created by an infinite love and infinite power and infinite wisdom, like, you know, like, wouldn't it make sense that this power that created you has something better in store for you than just like mindlessly wandering through this earth really confused, you know? I would just ask yourself that, man, because I thought for a while, like I know you joined in a little later, but man, I'm a recovered drug addict, and like that's what I thought for a while. I thought I was the example of what not to do in life, and that I was just gonna, you know, die when I was 27, and this was an endless game, and people are so fake, and like fuck that, you know. And I would say, man, walk through whatever you got to walk through with your family, and use that experience to help someone. I'm telling you, like that's my answer for a lot of everything, you know. World in general, yeah, it's, man. But you know what though, like I just read the end of that actually a little bit more clear. But you know what though, man, spaceman, there's a lot of people that aren't doing that. Yo, Badger, what's up, man? How you feeling, brother? You know, spaceman, like there's a lot of people that are producing positivity around here. Dude, thank you, man. Thank you so much, Badger. Much love. Much love. You know. I really appreciate that. You know, and spaceman, if you're wondering, you know, like about positivity, man, like especially this guy that hopped in the chat, Badger. Let me see. Yeah, dude. And you know, man, like I'm not gonna tell you that I have the answer. Let me finish my sentence about positivity, man. Like Badger, I know I believe he's the creator of the Discord that I joined, but the amount of positivity within these people, within this group of you know, guys and girls that I'm with, man, it's unbelievable. Because but I wanted to finish that sentence, I'm not going to tell you that I had abusive parents. I'm not going to front and say that, like, I had an abusive family. You know, however, you know, what I do know is that regardless of your circumstances, you can get well. That's what I do know. Okay, so you take whatever experience you have, man, and seek out some help, brother. Like because beating yourself up, doing that it's not going to help. You know, if we sit here and we sit here and we talk about it a lot, it's good to let that feeling out. But man, when we just consistently battle that in our head, like we're not doing anything about that. You know, and I don't like sugarcoating things, man. I like telling you the truth because I have a mad love and mad respect for people who can get vulnerable with their problems. I care about you getting well versus how you currently feel. And if it makes you mad, like to hear that, that honestly makes me happy because it means we're getting somewhere and you can do something, man. Like and by no means does this mean like there's like a lack of like, I don't get it. I don't, man. I don't know what that feels like. I was in an abusive relationship, a verbally abusive relationship with my girlfriend at the time, but I know a lot of friends that have had that, man. Like, I know a lot of friends that have had that, and they can, regardless of what's happened, man, like, we can always get well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Listen to this guy, dude. It's it's around that, man. You start, I hate saying like the phrase like fake it till you make it, man. But that's not what I'm getting at here, man. But this is like a huge thing for you to do, man, because a lot of people won't do what you're doing, and mad props to that. Dude. Man, I couldn't have said it better than. It gave me chills, man. Like, that gave me chills reading that because that's the absolute truth. Like, that is the absolute truth behind that. It's we, and this is, I never would have thought that me being a drug addict was going to be a beneficial thing. I never, yeah, exactly, man. Dude, life is really hard, but man, life is also really fucking cool. Like, life is really, really cool, and what you can do, man. I never thought that being a drug addict would be anything of use. I thought that it was such a negative thing. Like, I've been able to help so many more people because of that, and I've been able to have a purpose in my life because of that. And I'm telling you, man, like, but it doesn't mean that, like, shit's a bunch of, like, rainbows and unicorns all the time. Yeah. Yeah, man. Shit, dude. Absolutely, brother. Like, that's why I'm here, man. That's why I'm here. Like, I don't really care. Like, any part of my story I'm happy to share with you. I use my experience as a tool and as a vessel to help someone. Yeah. Yeah, dude. And Spaceman, if you don't mind me asking, like, how old are you, my man? Yeah, I mean, cause I got sober when I was 21. And life's a wonderful thing, man. Oh man, hey Cad. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, my man. I'm reading your comment here. Usually hear things will get better, blah blah. Only you can seek help and do better for yourself. That's great to hear for once, dude. Yeah, man, because it's the truth. Like, it's the truth. And what's funny, man. I love the direction this conversation's going. Like, I didn't think this was gonna happen. It's amazing. You know. Yeah. You gotta want the end game. Yeah. Yeah. And it's in a world full of, like, the funny thing about people, man, regardless of what way the conversation goes, regardless of what progress we make as humans, regardless of what type of conversations we're having now versus the ones we were having, in the 70s and 80s. I mean, Look at, like, it wasn't that long ago that we had slavery, and now we're talking about, like, I mean, now the conversations, definitely shifted, and there's movements around women's rights. There's a lot of movement around equality. There's a lot of, like, around sexual harassment. I mean, just the conversations that we're able to have now, it shows the true evolutionary change in humans, or like the progressive nature of humans and how we're improving and evolving as a species, but it doesn't mean, though, like, and there's a lot of positivity that goes along with this, and right now it's a very wonderful time. There's a lot of empathy, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of genuineness, but there's also a lot of there's always people that are going to take advantage. A vast majority of people are always going to go in it for the short run, for the immediate gratification, for the instant, for the instant spot, and it doesn't get anywhere. And you're exactly right. Like, things will get better, blah blah blah. You're so fucking, because when someone finally told me that, you know what, man, you're not gonna be okay. Like, someone told me that, like, and I could not be more grateful for that. Yeah. Now I work for myself and I'm traveling. I just feel like all of that didn't need to happen. Yeah, and you know, man, the mind, like, yeah, the mind is the mind. And let me finish that last thought. With Kat, like, to Kat's point. I mean, it's somewhat like, when I got well is when someone told me that it was not going to be okay. Like, when someone told me, like, when someone stopped soft serving me that bullshit, and you're right, man. So much of that is happening, and I'll even, like, relate that to, like, when I do my Instagram post, and sometimes on my Twitter post, it's someone will like say some, like, really, like, vanilla comment, like, "Hey, nice pic, follow my page." Why? I'm not gonna fucking do that. It's the same. It's the reason I say it's the same types of people. It's the same types of people that are gonna soft serve you the bullshit, try to put on a front that they really care about you when they really don't. And man, like, nothing wrong with those people, man, because you know what? Like, I did that for a little while. Like, because I didn't truly know how to help someone. I was so afraid of being vulnerable and trying to, like, feeling like I had a purpose. Like, I could not help, like, I didn't feel like I could do it, so that's why I said that. And it's the unfortunate reality. But regardless of where the conversation is, man, you're always going to have people that are in it for the short thrills. I mean, I see it all the time on streaming. I actually personally removed myself from all of those, like, retweet things because I thought that's how you grew, but I got so tired of seeing that shit in my feed, and it was so unauthentic. Yeah. Yeah. Leia, hey, come here. Hey. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Alright, it's my dog barking. I will give y'all a quick intro here in just a second. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Hey, well, dude, Colorado's legit, man. I got mad love for Colorado, dude. I feel like I got it made here in Austin, Texas. That's where I'm living right now. But, man, if I'm, like, beaches and lakes, like, don't get me wrong. Like, if someone invites me on a boat, I'm going to go to it. But I love the mountains. That's like where my heart is. That's where I feel it. That's where I belong. Yo. Joining a great conversation, KP. See the tip of the iceberg. Nobody sees the effort, failure. Yeah, heartache. Yeah, man. Yeah, like, even streaming for, like, 4 months. I want to say 3 or 4 months. Like, yeah, there's a lot of heartache, a lot of failure. With anything that you do. And yeah. I'll be honest, it feels like... Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Well said, Drewski. Well said, man. Dog. All right, is it Princess Leia time? You can put some. I'll put some Princess Leia hype in the chat. For those of you who don't know, Princess Leia is my dog, my child, I should say. So I'll do her little emo. Oh man, we it's been a great conversation, man. You know, Spaceman opened up, man, like he, yeah. Spaceman was getting real and getting vulnerable with a problem that he had, man, and you know this whole chat, like Drew, Badger, you know, we just opened up and really and Cad Snips. Is that how you say that, man? Cad Snips, CAD Snip. I'm really bad with names, so you have to forgive me. You know, and yeah, they can be, man. Like it's funny, man, because like. But yeah, KP, like we just had a great conversation, man. Cool. I'm glad I got that right. We just had a good conversation, man. Whole chat jumped in and you know and helped this brother out, you know, and so that's the main mission of this, you know. Yeah. But the amount of difficulty, man, like see the thing is like with me, yeah, life gets hard, but the rewards for continuing to grow and continuing to pursue this, man. If there wasn't Spaceman, we wouldn't be saying any of this if the rewards not outweigh the struggles that we had to go through. You know, when you finally find that like hustle, yeah, man, I appreciate that. Scorpion Zero. Ah. Welcome. How you doing tonight? Damn, man. Most of my 20s serving for something that was real hard. Yeah, man. It's yeah, KP, it's been a really cool conversation, man. It's been really cool. We've talked about chilling on Twitch. You know what, man? I'm glad to hear you're doing well. I like the emote. Beg. That's awesome, man. You know what, man? I'm doing really well. I got a belly full of sushi. Hanging out, helping some people, getting real, getting vulnerable, talking about some real shit, and hopefully helping someone in the process, you know. And these guys, man, like squad, man, has just been mad helpful, man. This chat is hype. This chat's lit. But without further ado, I love that you put that emote because the guest that I'm about to have on. She'd really appreciate that. So, Leia. Hey, come here, little lady. Come here. Hey. What's that? You ready to say hi to the camera? Hey, come here. Hey. Oh! Hey. Yeah, man. Namaste, my man. Spaceman, I hope you tune in again. I'm going to be doing this from time to time. I normally stream Call of Duty. But I wanted to give this a shot, man. I'm glad this helped out in some way. I hope this did. Puppy dog! Yes. This is Princess Leia. So what's funny is she actually had a teal collar on, and she looked exactly like Scooby-Doo. Say hi. Say hi for the channel. Yo, where's Sully? Is Sully on? I know Sully wanted to see Leia. Yes. Thank you. She's actually more popular than me, believe it or not. She's got her own Instagram page, and she actually just got oh, yes. She actually just she's now a brand ambassador for a company called Kona Leashes. It's like a premium dog leash company. And so we got her products in the mail, and she's going to be a popular young lady. So she doesn't like being on her back, but she tolerates it. Puppy! Yeah. A little bit about her. I actually will have had her for, she's about 2.5. Yeah. My man. My man, Falco. Thank you so much, my dude. Thank you so much, my dude. We will be doing this again. This has been a wild success. Princess Leia. You can't. I'd have to. No. Price tag could make me give her up. She's about 2.5. Yo, absolutely, man. Yes. So you can see she doesn't like it. So life's about being happy. So we want to keep her happy. So, but yeah. No. Yes. She's a good girl. Yo, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do. I got her about a year ago. Her adoption day is December 14th. So I don't know when her real birthday is. I do not know when that will be. Or when that was. Yeah, much love. Much love. However, we are treating adoption day. We're treating her adoption day as her birthday. So I will have had her for a year on December 14th, and it's my first time being a full-time dog dad. My family allowed me to. My family did all the hard parts of raising a dog, so I could experience the true joy that dogs bring. So this has been a very, very tough, very rewarding process. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, thank you so much for the host, KP. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that, my man. Yeah, dog dad. She's my kid. They they really are, man. And it's really hard to describe it. They just give you so much love. It's amazing, man. People who aren't dog people, I really choose to not have those people in my life unless they're allergic to dogs, because they have a valid reason. I have a dog, a cat, and a son. Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's great that you have a kid. How old is your kid? Hey. Appreciate you, my man. Much love. Much love. That's amazing. That's amazing. 2. 12 and 8. Wow, man. That's a handful. That's a handful you got yourself with. What's the different women? Actually, man, are you together with your current eldest lives with you? Okay. That's cool, man. What yeah. Yeah, true that, man. I can only imagine, dude. Yeah, much respect for that, because that's something dude, look at what's happening, man. You see this? Almost 3. Oh, my Lord. I've only heard stories, man. I've only heard stories. That's wild. Yeah. Tell you, man, it's funny, with me, with me, it's funny, I was a good child, I was a good baby, with the exception of a few, of course I had a few temper tantrums, but it's funny. Like I was a really good baby, but man, like once I turned 16 or 17, I was the biggest pain in my parents' side, like biggest thorn in their side. Um, it's it's funny. Oh wow. We lived with you last year, forcing his mom to move to the other side of the country, but he still wants to stay with you. Huh? Yeah, that's wild. Dude. It's cool, man. I'm so glad this like created a platform to allow people to share this, man. Like this is I had such like a misconception about people like being friends and meeting people online and on streams and all this other stuff, but this like has been the coolest thing I've ever experienced. Hmm. Our co-parenting was amazing and lit. Hey, every second weekend was amazing. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. That's really cool, guys. Yeah, like I said, we yeah. That's cool, man. But hey, Badger, I think the more that like we talk about things like that, like the more we mention that, like the easier it gets because there's certain like it helps a lot of people in more ways than you can imagine. Like I don't think a lot of you were here for the very beginning. But things that like really amplified my growth. Not amplify my growth. One thing I really sometimes had a tough time talking about is like when I was 18, man. Like my cousin was murdered when he was 21. So and that was like one of the catalysts for me, like just exploding into drug addiction. So I mean, like, I'll say it's not something I normally talk about. However, I'm so free of the pain that caused. The pain that caused. But it's I say that, man, because it's it helps someone, man. Like, and it was a pivotal spot in my life, and man, like when I tell people that, like there's certain people that I've helped from that, man. I can relate to people. I can, it's, it was crazy, man. I still have him on Xbox Live as a friend. I still have him on Xbox Live as a friend. I still keep that, man. Like it's wild, dude. Like now, and I was like 18 at the time, man. Like that, I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know what to do, so I just took a lot of drugs. Like, I mean, that's, yeah. Case in point, man. Case in fucking point. Like, people always ask me, like, being a drug addict, like, I had, so, and I was saying earlier, like, no one just wakes up and says, like, I want to be a drug addict when I grow up. Like, it doesn't just, like, happen like that. It's a lot of, like, it's like, oh, it's a choice and people, like, want to do that. That's not how it happened, man. Like, it's just not. It's a process that like you get sucked into, man, and it was like it just happens like that, man. Like people get hurt on motorcycle accidents all the time and break their leg and have to get prescribed, fucking Oxycontin, and then they get addicted to it, and then they're a drug addict. It's just yeah. It's but it's wild, man. No, yeah, it's people ask me what I was saying. Going back to a segue, people like ask me like, do I have any regrets about what I did? Like, my answer is absolutely not, because of what you said right there. It's like that makes me who I am today, man. Like that makes me who I am, what I am, how I can help people. It's a part of my story, man. And if I'm not talking about that, obviously I'm not just gonna go walk around and talk to some random person on the street about my cousin, but it puts me in a position to be so useful to people. And that's something when I was going through that time, like, I never felt I had any use to anybody. I feel like that feeling of uselessness, like, within people, man, God, that is so corroding. That is such a corroding feeling, and to be able to, just, man, embrace that shit. Like, embrace that shit, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. And yeah, dude, it and it like yeah, no, it's I appreciate that. It's really I don't know, man. It's fun to talk about because, like I said, I felt like I had no purpose before then. You know, like I felt like I hadn't really gone through anything. You know, hey, sub hype, dude. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. It's the Boona no way. Boona no way. Let's see if it comes up on stream. Let me know if the notification went across, you know. But yeah. Yeah, man. That's... I try, man. I try to bring the best pot. Yeah, buddy. Dude, I really appreciate that, man. And you know, man, like I was so nervous about doing this. Like I was so nervous about like I had no idea. You know what I was gonna do. I thought it was gonna be shit. There were not many people were gonna join. It was gonna be, yeah, man, dude. It just goes to show you that the reality of what actually it like this worked out in spite of what I thought of it. You know, the amount of positivity that came from this, the amount of people that like, the fact that that dude just so happened to come in and like open up on the spot like that, and the fact that you and Drew and CAD were there to like be there like that. Yeah. And you know, man, like honestly, like there's a lot of those out there, man. And there was, better to be real, like there was some resistance when, you know, when I first like I think I met you guys through Falco, you know, and Falco like randomly hopped in, and I was at that point where I was doing all the like follow for follow and retweet just overflow, and it just, you know, in the beginning I didn't really know until I started to meet you guys and I started to watch your streams and I started to just see the community, man. You know, like that's when I was like, man, this is fucking cool, dude. Like it's, people are actually genuine and chatting it up. And part of what helped me, man, is because there was a smaller, you know, it was a smaller niche of or group of people, and you know, I don't know, man. I don't know what changed it, but I'm so grateful, man, because like without this family, like I wouldn't have, just the success I've seen in the past like couple days is just, you know, uselessness. I dabble. Yeah, man. And hitting. Yeah, man. That's. Yeah. That's, yes, Kat. That's, yeah, man. You're very lucky, man. And you know, and that's cool that you can do that, dude. Because the reality is, like, if I could do that without, like, I just know my truth today. Like, I know my truth. I know, like, I'm very, very clear on it. And that, like, when I put substances in my body, like, there's no telling where I'm gonna go, you know, and how long it's gonna be before I get well again. So, I mean, the reality is, like, if I could, I definitely would. Like, if I could drink like a normal person, I would do that. But the reality is like me, like someone says I'm gonna go out and have a couple beers, that does not compute to me. Like that does not compute to me at all. You know, I just don't see the point in that. You know, so it's cool that you can do that, man. Like, you know, I figured when I was gonna get sober, like I would be jealous and living vicarious, but no, it's a cool thing, man. And people get well in all different ways. People are all different and have their own things. You know, we all have that one story that can really impact someone. You know, we all have that. So yeah, that uselessness, man, that is the most empty feeling. Like when you're not useful to someone, that shit fucking sucks. You know, that shit sucks. Yeah, man. Worked hard to protect, man. Andrew for you. Yeah, man. Same values. Yeah, man. Dude, yeah, I Badger, and I really respect that because I really like that. Like there's a group of guys that we meet every week for part of my recovery group, and that's how we are, man. We like vote people in whether they can come or not because we have a sacred bond like that we talk about anything there, and we talk about things that cannot be shared outside of that. So it's like hard to like put like that there's another community out there that's doing that, and you guys are in all the way in Australia and we're sitting here having a great time. You know, if I get that right, I think I got that right. I hope I didn't. If not, oh well. So I appreciate that culture that you guys have really kept close, man, and that type of culture is what makes people successful, man. You know, have a couple beers and I wake up in an alley with a taste in my mouth. Yeah. Yeah. An alley with Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's wild, dude. That's wild, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, like once I start, like there is no telling. And some of the people I'm friends with, yeah. Yeah. And that's cool. You had like that's so cool, man, that like you had the awareness to know that because man, like I was arrested a couple times. Yeah, and dude, Drew, honestly, like I've never even really watched a Just Chatting stream. Actually, no, I have for a little bit. I did with Native, but I didn't really. His population was so big that I didn't really, I don't know, feel comfortable chatting. And then other times I see like hot girls doing a cooking channel that will give you their lewd Snapchat for subs. That's the only other thing I've seen on Just Chatting. So, yeah, man. Oh, it's really awesome. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, thank you, man. Yeah, that's because it's crazy, man. Some people learn some people learn quicker than others, man. Like for me, it took me going through all of that to say like, man, I'm finally done. So that's awesome, man. I'm waiting for you to do the AMSR. I just stumbled upon that, man. I just stumbled upon that, and I didn't know. Like, there's a couple people a couple chicks I follow that do that, and like, I looked it up, and I'm like, that's like sex for your body, man. Like, that shit's amazing. Like, you know what, man? Like, if you, I'll do that. It's Boona. It's Boona, like it's BoonaFide, and so think of it as like the word bona fide with an extra O. Yeah, it's just amazing. So I'll tell you how the name actually came to fruition. Like I put a lot of I'm really happy, man. Like I love it, because so the definition of bona fide is genuine and real. That's what the definition for that is. And so as a kid, for no apparent reason, like, and this is like, and if there was a reason, she hasn't told me. So, Boona was actually something my mom called me as a kid. She always called me her Boona and her pumpkin, and so like, I always hated it when she called me Boona outside of the family, outside of the house. And she wouldn't do it that often, but it would slip. So I was always like really ashamed of it because it's such like a different thing. She always called me her Boona. And so when I was coming up with this stream, like I'm like, wait a second. Coming up with a name, I'm like, oh, BoonaFide is genuine and real. It's something I'm trying to be. It's something I stand for. It's genuine. It's authentic. It's who I am. It's who I'm becoming. And so, I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. I may switch the tier 2 emote to Leia, like with that like no face. I may play around with that. Dude, I like that. That's cool, man. You know, there's always something for like everything. You know, it's like there's so much thought that goes into like everything that a streamer does. Barstow now having a kid. Best I do now is to call. Go to camp for the week. Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man, and that's the cool part is that like people, I genuinely appreciate that, man. I really do, and people, you know, people have their own way of doing things, and like that's the thing, and that's the problem. Even I have with trying something different, like, you know, like everyone's got their own way of solving it, but you don't know it until you try it. Like, you know, you don't know it, or it's not the same as someone else's, so they're not going to, so it's not going to work. Like there's so many different ways, but there's always a core fundamental, these fundamental ideas of like being honest with yourself, helping someone else, being passionate about what you do. It's like regardless of how you get well, like those things are always prevalent, always, you know, and you gotta want it, you know, you gotta want it. Just like I wanted to go get opiates, and I wanted to go, like, heroin didn't just jump into my body. Like, guess what, man? I had to go fucking get it, you know, like that's how it was, man. So like now that I'm sober, like sobriety doesn't just come, like I have to take certain actions to continue that I stay sober. It's not just something like, oh, I like left it alone and now I'm well. Like I have to continue to grow, and I have to grow and to try and perfect and enlarge the maintenance of my spiritual condition, man. You know, that's what I have to do, man. You know, and that's my reality, dude. Like it's, you know, otherwise, man, like I'll go right back, you know, and it's what a cool fucking life we get to live today, man. And like right now in this time of abundance, like creativity is at its all-time high, and like the fact that we have the internet to create something and we don't have to like go through some like middleman to do what we really love to do. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. I keep laughing. Do you want to hear me eat a banana? But for real, you think I would do good for ASMR? Is that what it's called? I can't. You think that would be AMSR? AMSR. Gotcha. Yeah, I'd do that, man. If that's... What's that? What's that? Can you say it on stream? Or is it going to be... Ah, you're a good salesman, Badger. You're a good salesman. Now you got me excited. Thank you, man. Thank you. I love it, dude. I love it. You know. Well, cool, man. It's going to be in the Discord. Gotcha. All right. Cool. I will stay tuned, my man. You know, I got the deep. I didn't realize the deep voice, man. But, you know, the deep voice, the okay, deep voice. As someone, I can't remember, one of my friends called it the luscious beard. You know, so we can probably make something happen with AMSR. You know, we'll see. But I've only seen chicks doing that. Like, is that something that like a lot of like, I guess I can look. You know, but is that something that guys actually do? Because I've always seen like hot chicks that cosplay. And I follow a couple of them, that's why I know. So, hey, no, ain't none of that here. Ain't none of that here. Triggered. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Hey, man. Be who you want to be, man. Be who you want to be. That's awesome, man. Well, hey guys, I'm probably going to go to bed. I got to get up and go to work tomorrow, and I'm not got the allergies bugging me and head's foggy, and I need some sleep right now. But this was fun, man. This is a lot of fun. I'm gonna figure out a schedule. I'm playing right now, and I got it on my Instagram, and I'll probably post it on my Twitter. I'll be doing this on Sunday nights, doing the just chatting. Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Whole idea for this, man, is to do, like, what happened here tonight was exactly what I wanted to happen. You know, someone came in, and it wasn't just me. Like, as much as, like, I love sharing my story. Yo! With the 500 biddies. Thank you so much, my man. I really appreciate that. Get some hype. Get some hype in the chat. I don't have the hype. Look, I have Snipe Down's hype. So I'm going to do some snipe hype. You know, that's going to be something. I need to do a hype as one of my emotes, too. Maybe for, like, a tier 1. Do a couple tier 1 emotes. Thank you so much, Drew. I really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm planning on doing this on Sundays for the just chatting. You know, on Monday, I'll be available. I think on all other days. You know, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday may be my day. Spoonie Love Tone. Hey, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, Spoonie. Appreciate the follow. I'll have to say, I see you playing that art game a lot. I'm still a little new to that and what exactly that game is, but I'm trying to keep an open mind, and I'll still continue to tune in even though I have a lot of questions. Oh shit! I need to change that. That's one of those things that I did in the beginning that I thought I was some big time. I'll change that. Yeah. That's one of the. You know, that's where there's a little arrogance that came in there. So I'll have to change that. I'll change the minimum to where there's no minimum. So I will do that. You have my word that will be changed. That will be changed. You know, I may do that right now. I don't like doing the bit discrimination. Yeah. Affiliate partner. Thank you so much, man. Let me loyalty badges minimum. Say the minimum. Oh wait. Minimum bits emote. Alright. Alright, there we wait. Hold on. Set the number of bits needed to cheer a message in your channel. We can only recommend above 1. Okay. Oh crap. It says minimum bit emote. Set the smallest bit emote that can be used in your channel. We already recommend setting this above 1 to combat spam. Set the number of minimum of bits needed to cheer a message in your channel. We only recommend setting this above 1. I don't get that. I'll figure that out. Oh shit. Damn, with the 700. Damn. Gotta beat down. Drew got beat down by Spoonie. That's enough. Raj Patel runs a great IRL. Yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man. I'll definitely do that. Hell yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Drop his link, my man. Thank you, and thank you so much for talking, man. That was really fun. Yeah, that's perfectly fine, man. That's perfectly fine. Then no worries on that. No worries on that. Wait. This is, yeah, man. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, guys. Um, Yo, dude, that was lit, man. That was lit. I really appreciate that. Dude, yeah, man. Dude, much love, man. Grateful to be a part of it, man. I'm grateful that, people all the way across the world got some same beliefs as I do, and they're trying to do the same thing. I really, man, it makes me smile from ear to ear. Makes me smile from ear to ear. Dude, it is for real not letting me. I'm trying to minimum bits to cheer. I'm putting 1, and it says error. Oh, there we go. There we go. Build a community completed. There we go. All right. Yo, got it saved. I got that saved. For you, Drewski. I got it set to a minimum of 1 bit. Yeah, dude. No, hey, Kat, don't like if that's something you think that can provide true value to someone, yo, with the 80 coming in hot. Alright. Yeah, dude, Kat, if it's something that so my thing, man, like if you're just gonna like if people like I haven't really had an issue with this, I've never ran it like I'm just starting out. My thing is that if it provides value to someone, I share it, dude. If you think that it's gonna help someone, share it. Like there is so much abundance in this world. I could like people it gets real people get real shady around that, but I don't care, man. There's enough abundance to this go around there's enough abundance in this world to go around, so I will definitely be checking that out. Yeah, that's I hear that. It's yeah what Badger said. Yeah, I'll definitely give him a follow. Dope, man. Yo, he's probably got a really dope. Dude, that is awesome, man. I just gave him a follow. Yeah, man. Follower. Yeah. All right, guys. Yo, hey, Kat, thank you so much for. Badger's got a good point, man. It's if you want to drop something, ask. Most of the time, it's not a problem. But just like with anything, I do appreciate that. Much love, my dude. It's really cool. Hey, dude. Hey, Badger, we are just getting started, my man. We are just getting started. Yeah, man. All right, y'all. Much love to y'all. Yo, that was incredible. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Peace. Oh, lastly. Yes, sir. I'll be on tomorrow doing some Black Ops. Hopefully we can get the squad together. Let's see if we can squad up tomorrow night. Probably around 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock Central. I'm not sure what that is. I'm gonna do my best to look up y'all's time zone to where I can translate that on the spot. But yeah, man. Peace. Much love. Night. I swear I'm leaving now. It's happening. Okay, cool, man. Cool. Rock on. I will be seeing y'all later. I swear. I'm going. It's like the very southern goodbye. We say goodbye, and then we talk about something else, and then go on a tangent, and then we say goodbye, and then we're finally out the door, and... Okay.